Od 2 lat Instytut Piłsudskiego w Nowym Jorku posiada nową tradycję. To roczny bankiet, na którym ta zasłużona placówka honoruje wybitne osobistości biznesu, kultury i nauki. We wspaniałych salach New York Athletic Club zgromadziło się wielu znakomitych gości. Richard Watt, laureat Nagrody imienia Wacława Jędrzejewicza, ambasador Rzeczpospolitej Polskiej w Waszyngtonie Jerzy Koźmiński, przedstawiciele kultury, biznesu i society. Gości witali prezes Instytutu Andrzej Beck z żoną, wiceprezes Danuta Cisek, chairman bankietu Bill Breznan i dyrektor Instytutu Janusz Cisek. Wspomagało ich wypróbowane grono wolontariuszy i członków Rady Instytutu: Ewa i Stanisław Babiarz, Alicja Babkiewicz, dr Magda Kapuścińska, Ewa Dynowska, Ewa Kozicz i szereg innych osób. Jednym z pierwszych gości wieczoru był John Georges, który jako szef International Paper był chairmanem pierwszego bankietu i współtwórcą jego sukcesu. Z Kanady przybył profesor Juliusz Łukasiewicz. Odnotowaliśmy też, że wielu gości przybyło z różnych, często odległych zakątków Stanów Zjednoczonych. Gości wieczoru mieli okazję oswoić się z atmosferą uroczystości i nawiązać nowe kontakty podczas godziny koktajlowej, która poprzedziła właściwą ceremonię. Cechą charakterystyczną wieczoru było nagromadzenie reprezentantów różnych firm związanych z telewizją i telekomunikacją. Jako że chairman bankietu, szef Breznan Communications, zaangażowany jest w rozwój telekomunikacji i telewizji kablowej także i w Polsce. Reprezentantami tej samej branży byli przedstawiciele Cablevision, Rainbow Programming, ESPN, Cable Constructors, Arts and Entertainment Network, Time Warner Cable, USA Networks, Showtime Networks, a nawet Black Entertainment. Można bez przesady powiedzieć, że wymienione firmy zaczynają tworzyć coraz bardziej spójne środowisko, które pragnie popierać pracę Instytutu i jego badania. Oryginalnym wyglądem wyróżniali się polscy kadeci, którzy na zasadzie umowy z władzami amerykańskimi studiują na West Point. Ich obecność jest namacalnym przykładem zacieśniania się stosunków polsko-amerykańskich i praktycznej realizacji zapowiadanego włączenia Polski do Sojuszu Północnoatlantyckiego. Nie zawiedli poprzedni sponsorzy imprezy tacy jak International Paper, CS First Boston, AT&T, a z polskich firm Bank PKO, który obchodzi akurat 50-lecie działalności, Polsko-Słowiańska Unia Kredytowa, Zag Machine, eSport Trading oraz szereg innych firm i osób. Głównym punktem wieczoru jest wręczenie nagród. Józef Piłsudski Leadership and Achievement Award przyznaje się chairmanowi poprzedniego bankietu. Instytut honoruje biznesmenów, którzy wyróżniają się rozmachem działania i wizją, w tym znaczeniu także, że dostrzegają korzyści inwestowania w Polsce. Laureatem 1996 roku został John Georges. Nie mniej prestiżowa jest nagroda historyczna imienia Wacława Jędrzejewicza, żołnierza, dyplomaty i badacza dziejów najnowszych, która w tym roku przypadła Richardowi Łottowi. Nagroda Ignacego Paderewskiego przypadła sławnemu kompozytorowi Henrykowi Góreckiemu, natomiast nagrodę Marii Curie-Skłodowskiej przyznano dr Alinie Surmackiej-Szcześniak, która jest pionierem dziedziny zwanej Food Science. Nagrody wręczane są w postaci okolicznościowych medali wykonanych przez Jana Raszkę, Stanisława Lutostańskiego i Kazimierza Kardasińskiego. Oficjalnego otwarcia bankietu dokonała przewodnicząca komitetu Danuta Cisek.
All of you on behalf of the Institute. Last year's awards dinner was a great success, and we know this year's to be even better. It is my great Ladies and gentlemen, stand for the United States and Polish national anthem, rendered by Christopher Wilczarek and David Jacks. For those of you who would like to sing along, please pick up your copy of our souvenir journal, which you will find at your seat. And on page 4, you will see the words to both anthems.
Dear God, we come before you this evening with praise and gratitude for the blessings bestowed upon your people, especially upon the people of Poland and the United States. We seek, with sincerity and courage, to follow the example of those whom you have granted your graces for the good of all. We recognize and revere the great understanding of our human dignity here on the occasion of this annual awards program dinner. May the words of those who lead the Institute and the esteemed guest speakers inspire us to protect freedom as Józef Piłsudski did.
Welcome to our annual award dinner, and thank you for your support in joining us here tonight. I invite you, your friends and the public, to take advantage of our resources at the Piłsudskiego Institute in New York. Our souvenir journal lists our many services.
It was the leadership of Józef Piłsudski, the hero of Polish independence, which provided the inspiration for Poland in those early years, much as it was Lech Wałęsa's in our time. The Piłsudski spirit, kept alive by the Piłsudski Institute, continues to play a key role in his country today. The Institute, by preserving a rich archival history of Poland and East and Central Europe, by supporting historical research and scholarship about the country and the region, and by promoting democratic ideals for more than 50 years, has long played an important role in warding off the revisionists, those people who would like to rewrite history to suit their own purposes. It could be said that the Piłsudski Institute helps to keep historians honest, a very significant function. And through all of its activities and undertakings, the Institute has been instrumental in fostering what now emerges as a country with a quickening pace of economic development, a country positioned for both economic and political integration with the European community and NATO. Bresnan Communications believes in the promise of Poland as a viable and valuable marketplace in which to conduct our business. The decision to enter the marketplace was made based upon what we believe are solid business considerations for any venture, anywhere. We saw a country whose close to 40 million consumers have been deprived of quality consumer goods for more than half a century, and whose basic infrastructure was in serious need of upgrading and modernization. Just as an example, even today, it's not uncommon to wait several years for telephone service, even in some of the provincial capitals, a situation which can and will be alleviated by our technology. Following the collapse of the communist regime in 1989, we witnessed Poland's first steps towards the creation of a free market economy, noting that within just a few months, the Polish government instituted a wide-ranging program to liberalize prices, move towards convertible currency, and stabilize exchange rates. So successful has Poland been in the efforts to create a modern free market economy and competitive marketplace that it now serves as a jumping-off point for many companies just now entering the region. Many are using Poland as a base of operations from which they can expand further east to other countries in Central and Eastern Europe. Fully aware of Poland's determination to foster foreign investment, our company has felt very comfortable doing business in the country and has been met with a welcoming climate in which to do so. We are now one of the largest providers of telecommunications services in Poland, with key interests in Warsaw, Krakow, Katowice, and the provinces of Gorzów and Szczecin. Today, as Poland moves forward with its tireless efforts to enter the European community and NATO, Bresnan Communications feels strongly about the role which foreign investment can play in creating political stability and in supporting democracy and encouraging its spread throughout the region. We believe that our investments in Poland and our commitment to Poland will reward us with more than just financial gains. Bresnan is proud to be an early and major player on the scene, and we wholeheartedly encourage other companies to explore this blossoming country and invest in its bright future. Thank you.
Przemówienie prezesa Bresnan Communications zamykało pierwszą część wieczoru. Potem serwowano obiad. Obok już wymienionych osób na sali można było odnotować obecność prezesa Fundacji Kościuszkowskiej Józefa Gora z małżonką, opiekuna polskich kadetów, z West Point, dyrektora Polskiego Instytutu Naukowego w Nowym Jorku, doktora Tadeusza Gromadę, Stanisława Świderskiego i szereg innych osobistości. Po posiłku miejsce na podium zajął kongresmen Benjamin Gilman, jeden z najwybitniejszych promotorów włączenia Polski do NATO.
Thank you, Bill, for that kind introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, Reverend clergy, His Excellency Ambassador Kosminski, President Beck, and honorees. And I'd like to say, as Elizabeth Taylor said to her 8th husband, I won't keep you long. I was pleased to receive your invitation to participate in these ceremonies tonight in honor of both those who achieved so much in the areas of history, science, and music, and those who've shown leadership as well as achievement, particularly with regard to Polish-American relations. And I want to congratulate John George, the year's recipient of the Leadership and Achievement Award, and all of those who've been presented with awards by Polish-American community tonight. And John, the International Paper Company has a good spot right in the middle of my district. We hope you stay there. In his invitation to address this gathering, your president, Andrew Beck, indicated that the Polish-American community has followed with a great deal of interest our efforts in the Congress to expedite the expansion of the NATO military alliance, to admit such new members as Poland. And I certainly appreciate the opportunity to talk a bit about that very important issue. But I'd like to address it, if I might, from the perspective of a more important issue, and that issue is the role that Poland will play in building a new Europe as we approach the 21st century. And as you know, the partitions of Poland by its neighbors in the 18th century almost extinguished the idea of a Polish state. The resurrection of Poland at the start of the 20th century shows us, however, that history can be reversed, and reversed for the best. We, the United States, our NATO allies in Western Europe, and the new democracies in Eastern Europe, now have the choice once again to reverse history, and to reverse it for the better. We have, first of all, the opportunity to reverse the effects of the Yalta Agreement, the opportunity to bring Poland and its neighbors into the West. Only the expansion of the transatlantic community's influence into Eastern Europe will provide the assurance that the new democracies in that region need, that Russia will never again threaten countries like Poland. I was struck with a phrase I recently read, used by a reporter to describe the nostalgia for imperialism among some in Russia's leadership elite. As that reporter put it, some in Russia suffer from what he called the empire blues. Well, we need to be sure that that case of empire blues never again gets out of hand. And never again should an imperial empire, whether Tsarist or Bolshevik, rule from Poland to the Pacific. Those days are in the past, and we must never allow them to return. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another opportunity to reverse history associated with this rollback of imperialist tendencies. Namely, the opportunity to bring a tremendous new stability to Europe as a whole, to reverse the violent, divisive history of much of this century on that continent, and to try to create a long-lasting peace. I strongly believe that the expansion of the European Union and of the NATO military alliance into Eastern Europe is absolutely vital to that process of building a new stability in Europe. The integration of Poland into pan-European and transatlantic institutions is an important goal. However, I've been equally impressed by other aspects of Poland's foreign policy since it won its freedom from Soviet domination. First, there's been a very successful Polish effort to attain good cooperative relations with its neighbors like Germany, despite the sad experiences of warfare and occupation that have marked relations between Poland and such neighbors in the past. Instead, the problems that Poland needs to address lie to the east, and Poland, in a manner that I think is little recognized here in our own nation, has taken it upon itself to begin building stability and good relations with its eastern neighbors. Most notably, late last year, Poland agreed to create a joint peacekeeping unit with the Ukraine. Yes, a stable Europe is what America needs, not just what Poland needs. That's why I've sought to see the beneficial influence of the NATO alliance and of the European community expanded into Eastern Europe, and yes, into the former Soviet Union as well. So I hope this effort will have your support, as I'm sure it will, not just for the sake of the integration of Poland into those European and transatlantic institutions, but for the integration of its eastern neighbors as well. Dobry noc I cześć z Wrogiem and dziękuję.
Excellency Jerzy Koźmiński, Poland's
I was offered only 5 minutes by the organizers with a task to share with you a progress report from Poland. Well, 5 minutes, for a progress report from a country of 39 million people allocated in the heart of Europe and making such a historic transformation. It's quite a challenge. One can do it only in headlines. So my headlines, instead of a report, would be the following. First of all, I wish to express my profound respect and appreciation and gratitude to the Piłsudskiego Institute for everything this great institution has done for Poland and for the Polish-American bonds. The Piłsudskiego Institute has not only played a very special role in research, but also it helped to amplify that moral strength which made it possible to convert the Polish longing for freedom into freedom, which made it possible to convert the Polish longing for a free and democratic country into a Poland of freedom and democracy of today. And now what Poland needs in order to complete successfully her historic journey towards a secure liberty, mature democracy, and a robust market economy, but also in order to contribute herself to the cause of Western values, security, is to become fully integrated with Euro-Atlantic community of free and democratic nations. Let me say that the most impressive part of Poland's transformation triggered 7 years ago, which, as we know, triggered a chain reaction in the whole of Central and Eastern Europe, is a fundamental remake of the Polish economy. 7 years ago, in the year of the historic breakthrough, we inherited two main economic disorders. The first was a defective economic system dominated by the state, equipped with false prices, close to the internal and external competition. And the second disorder that we inherited was a macroeconomic disaster, manifested by hyperinflation and massive shortages of goods. Today, the macroeconomic situation of Poland is very healthy. Inflation went down sharply since 1989, though it still requires to be reduced further. The budgetary deficit stands at 2.7% of GDP, what is well within the Maastricht criteria, and our public debt has also deeply diminished within the Maastricht criteria too. The system of Poland's economy has changed dramatically. Today, as it was mentioned by Mr. Bresnan, almost 70% of GDP is generated by the private sector, which has grown extremely fast in the recent years. Polish exports boomed. Over the past 2 years only, it rose by 70%. As a result of radical and painful reforms, Poland's GDP increased by almost 7% last year, placing Poland among the fastest growing economies. And according to some estimates, new estimates, by the year 2000, Poland's GDP will reach 50% of Russia's GDP. That is to say, it will reach half of the size of a domestic product of a huge country with 11 time zones. Poland has got one time zone only. All those factors, plus Poland's size and her geographic allocation, which for centuries, as we know, has caused problems and now is turning out to be our asset, all those factors are making Poland more and more an attractive place for foreign investors. The recent years saw a rapid rise in direct foreign investments, and among those who come to Poland, the lead has been taken by American companies. And of course, as Polish ambassador to the US, I wish such a preponderance is kept by American investors in many years to come. Now, the remaining economic agenda for Poland includes reducing unemployment further, privatizing quicker such sectors as telecommunication, energy, banks, restructuring of coal mining, and also reforming profoundly the pension system. Well, this is a very ambitious agenda, but the most difficult and the most risky steps are well behind us. Ladies and gentlemen, concluding my headlines of the progress report, I'd like to take this opportunity to express my warmest congratulations to the awardees of tonight's dinner. They will appear in a few minutes, I believe. Let me say how much in Poland we appreciate what they have done. We appreciate their great achievements. We appreciate and we are grateful for their contribution to various segments of Polish reality, as well as to the Polish-American bonds. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to convey to all of you my best regards, best greetings, best wishes from Poland, best wishes of every success in your activities. Thank you very much. Thank you. Dziękuję Państwu serdecznie.
And now we take pleasure to come to the very important part of this evening's schedule. It is the presentation of our awardees. It gives me great pleasure to give to Mr. John A. Georges this award.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for this award. And I want to thank all of you for making this such a nice evening. Special greeting for our distinguished guests, the ambassador. And I want to thank the very kind comments of our dinner chairman, Bill Bresnan, and Congressman before he left. I also want to say to Mrs. Bajik, I was grateful to have the chance to work with Admiral Bajik last year as we plotted and executed the first dinner for the Piłsudskiego Institute. Admiral Bajik is a magnificent man, and we'll miss him and we'll remember him. Bill Bresnan, compliments to you. This is a terrific dinner, and hopefully it sets a trend that each dinner will be bigger and better every year. It was the summertime. Temperature had been over 100 for a week, and we were trying to rent an air-conditioned car to drive from Warsaw to Kwidzyn. The gentleman at the counter said he had an air-conditioned car somewhere in the fleet, but he had never seen it. Of course, if you've been to Poland lately, you can rent anything you'd like. Air-conditioned Mercedes, any kind of car you'd like, it's all available. We found the car, it was not air-conditioned, and we got to the mill at Kwidzyn just in time to see the afternoon shift change. And just as we got there, the employees were leaving, and it created a traffic jam. And the traffic jam was just a carload of bicycles. They almost ran us over in front of the mill. Today, if you were to go to the Kwidzyn mill, you'd be run over again at the shift change, but it wouldn't be bicycles, it would be cars. We've had to expand the parking lot 4 times since that time. What I like most about our experience in Poland is that everyone's a winner. The employees, the community, my company, and our countries. And the victories are not just about making money. For instance, they are about such things as safety. For example, at the Kwidzyn mill, which had a very mediocre safety performance, it has improved by 6-fold. Today, the injuries at the Polish mill compared to our typical mill in the United States. It is, in fact, a world-class competitor in safety. I can say the same thing about the environment. The Polish mill, after our modernization, is as good as any mill we have in America. Poland, without doubt, can be and is a world-class competitor in things like the safety and the environment, too. Now, if you haven't caught on, let me say it as explicitly as I can. Our mill in Poland is the best mill in Europe, bar none. I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to be part of this success. Again, I want to thank you for this very special award.
And now we will present the Wacław Jędrzejewicz Award in History to Mr. Richard A. Watt. Will Mr. Watt come to the podium? It gives me a pleasure to give this award to Mr. Richard A. Watt.
It's of course a great honor to receive this award from the Piłsudskiego Institute, and it's enhanced because the award bears the name of the most remarkable man I've ever known. At one time in 1969, when I'd begun to work on a book which was planned to be the account of all 6 of the succession states created after World War I, I walked into the Institute's offices on Park Avenue South. I forget how I had come to learn of the Institute's existence, but I was looking for a good Polish library and some guidance on interwar Poland. I found both at the Institute. The lady who was the receptionist suggested that I should meet Professor Wacław Jędrzejewicz, a remarkably difficult name for a Scots-American to pronounce. Come back on Wednesday, she said. He's always here on Wednesday, and I came back on another Wednesday, and that was the first of many Wednesdays, about a month apart, over a period of 8 years. Professor Jędrzejewicz was an absolutely inexhaustible Polish historical source. He remembered every event of importance over the entire 1,000-year sweep of Polish history, and of course he had lived the entire Polish interwar experience. There was no detail that he did not know, no person he had not known, no name or face he had forgotten. His range was enormous. From his teenage years as Poland's first aviator, through a career in which he was a soldier, the holder of the Virtuti Militari, which is Poland's Congressional Medal of Honor, an intelligence officer, a diplomat, ambassador to Tokyo and Rome, an educator, a cabinet minister, a day laborer on a chicken farm in South Jersey, a professor at Wellesley, and the author of a dozen valuable histories of Polish events and Polish people. Above all, he was a scholar, a dispassionate historian who never sought to intrude or coerce others to his point of view. The last letter which I received from Professor Jędrzejewicz was in response to one which I wrote him on the fall of communism in Poland. He must have been 98 years old then. Thanks God, he wrote back, I have lived to see it. Well, thanks God we've been left with the achievements and the memory of Wacław Jędrzejewicz. It's an enormous honor to receive this award bearing his name. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Wanted to be with us here tonight, but a recent change in his schedule made it impossible for him to make a trip from Katowice, Poland to New York. Receiving this year Ignacy Paderewski Award in Music in his name will be his close friend, Professor Tadeusz Gromada of the Polish Institute of Arts and Sciences. It gives me great pleasure to give you the award for Mr. Górecki. Thank you very much.
Marie Skłodowska-Curie won 2 Nobel Prizes for physics in her lifetime. She did not return to Russian-dominated Poland, but remained in Paris, where she pioneered research in the field of radioactivity. The Piłsudskiego Institute honors Marie Skłodowska-Curie by naming its Science Award in her memory. Dr. Alina Surmacka-Szcześniak was wrenched by World War II from her native Poland and did her pioneering work in rheology in the United States. Dr. Surmacka-Szcześniak's work affects our everyday choices in the acceptance of foods and in the pleasure we take from eating. Recognized by her colleagues in the United States and abroad for researching, quantifying, and identifying the physical and chemical factors responsible for food textures, Dr. Surmacka-Szczesniew today is awarded the Piłsudskiego Institute Science.
Thank you to the organizing committee for having the practical sense to give a woman the final award. It is indeed with great honor and privilege that I received this award named after the world-famous Polish lady scientist, the only person who has received the Nobel Prize twice. And I want to thank you, the Institute's jury, for selecting me to be this year's recipient. When I was growing up in Poland in the 30s, Marie Curie Skłodowska was the idol and the role model of all the young girls aspiring to a career in chemistry or physics. She was the personification not only of a brilliant scientist who contributed so much to the betterment of mankind through her discovery and research on radioactivity, but also of a woman who combined successfully professional life with marriage and motherhood. In addition, she was a person who, for the sake of her scientific endeavors, opted for living in a foreign country, but who never forgot her beloved Poland and used her fame and available resources to foster medical care and research in her native country. An institute dedicated to radiation therapy and research bearing her name was located just a few blocks from where I lived in Warsaw. I began my study of chemistry at the Polytechnic Institute in Warsaw in 1942, when all the high schools and universities were closed by the Nazis and schools were part of the underground state. My professor of chemistry was a Dr. Dorabiałska, an already well-known physical chemist who had spent some time in Paris working with Marie Curie Skłodowska. She wrote a book entitled One More Life, in which she describes much of her life philosophy. Much of what she said there is also my life philosophy. We can only guess how much of her life philosophy she had acquired from Marie Curie Skłodowska, and how much of that Marie Curie Skłodowska's life philosophy was transferred through their channel to people like I. It is with great humility that I accept this award, not only for myself, but for the women of my generation who grew up and lived under similar circumstances. In closing, I like to say that many important events in my life that often changed its course happened by what is called chance. I really don't believe that things happen by chance. I believe that there's a pattern and purpose to all our lives. And I want to thank my guardian angel for seeing me through bad times that made me a stronger, perhaps a better person, and for arranging for so many good things that happened to me in my life, as exemplified by tonight's event. And I thank you for listening to me.
I want to thank Angela Zubrzewski for doing a great job in helping to carry out the functions of this dinner program. And I would like to present her with these flowers. I also want to thank again our dinner chairman, Bill Bresnan, for a great job which he has done, as well as his staff of people. And I would specifically like to thank Suzanne Thompson and Tracy O'Shea for helping us in putting this program together. Dzisiejszy wieczór, według mnie w każdym razie, był bardzo udany. Dla nas naturalnie było trochę łatwiej, bo to już był drugi z kolei wieczór tego rodzaju, więc mieliśmy do pewnego stopnia trochę rutyny w tym, ale najważniejszą rzeczą jest to, że możemy tutaj zebrać przedstawicieli przemysłu amerykańskiego i przy tych różnych, prawda, przemówieniach oni dostali dobry obraz możliwości inwestycji w Polsce.
Myślę, że w tym roku mieliśmy po raz kolejny okazję do goszczenia na obiedzie Instytutu bardzo wielu przedstawicieli amerykańskiego przemysłu. Nasza impreza staje się okazją nie tylko do prezentowania potrzeb polskiej racji stanu w postaci żądań o przyłączenie Polski do Unii Europejskiej, do przyłączenia Polski do NATO, ale także do inwestycji amerykańskich w Polsce, bo wiadomo, że mają one kluczowe znaczenie dla stabilizacji gospodarczej, dla zmniejszenia bezrobocia, dla wywalczenia standardów, które są niezbędne dla integracji z zachodnią Europą. Cieszę się, że dopisała publiczność zarówno amerykańska, jak i polska i mam nadzieję, że nasz bankiet wejdzie na stałe do kalendarza imprez polskich i amerykańskich w Nowym Jorku. Mr. Bresnan, why do you support Piłsudski Institute?
Well, because we only learned about Piłsudski Institute a couple of years ago, but we're very involved in Poland and we're very interested in the country. And when we learned about Piłsudski and the wonderful things they've done, not only that they have done to help open up the country, but are continuing to do to educate people on the real history of Poland, we think it's right on the mark, and we're very, very happy to support it.
What kind of business do you conduct in Poland?
We're in the telecommunications business. We operate cable television systems, and we're now in the process of building 2 telephone systems. We have cable television systems in Warsaw, Krakow, and Katowice, and we're building combination telephone and cable systems where both services offer it on the same network in Gorzów and Szczecin.
What is the advantage of Polish market over other East European markets?
Well, it's a market that, there's a number really. One is it's a market that's been terribly held back, as you know, over 50 years of lack of access to quality goods and services, an infrastructure that badly needs upgrading, and because of the repression that occurred over the 50 years or so. And also you have a really vibrant economy, the way things have taken off, and you know, the growth and gross national product is just incredible. The privatization, both mainly I think in the past been through the creation of new private sector businesses by entrepreneurs and businesses, but now the government's effort to privatize as well. So you have that whole privatization thing going on, and then it's the attitude of the Polish people, and they're wonderful, positive, bright, active people, and it's a great place to do business. I encourage anybody I talk to in the business community here in the U.S. that they should look at Poland, because I think it's a blossoming country. It has a great future, and we feel privileged to be part of it.
Gratulacje dla Instytutu Piłsudskiego za jeszcze jeden wspaniały wieczór. Jesteśmy wszyscy pod wrażeniem tej imprezy i naprawdę, jeżeli mogę wyrazić tutaj zdanie swoich kolegów, jest to jeden z najbardziej świetnych wieczorów, jeżeli chodzi o naszą tutaj Polish community. Ja jestem Arthur Anderson & Company, firma, która zajmuje się głównie accountingiem i miło mi tutaj spotkać znajomych, którzy również pracują w różnego rodzaju firmach finansowych. Miło mi jest również przeprowadzić swoich tutaj przyjaciół i dać im trochę możliwość poznania naszej kultury.
This is a very nice thing that the Polish community does, coming up with such ideas as these kind of dinners and other things that the Piłsudskiego Instytutu does, especially because I believe that the Polish community lacks these kind of events, and I hope that the Piłsudskiego Instytutu keeps up with everything that it's doing.
And this is actually my first introduction to the Piłsudskiego Institute, and I'm very glad to partake in something that actually expresses my Polish culture, having been born here in the United States and knowing the Polish language. I think I agree that more of these types of events should occur and more of the Polish American and Polish youth should be involved. Enjoyed it very much.
I'm just very impressed with how integrated the whole Polish community is with the American community and how positive it can be for the future as far as Poland being included in NATO and all the Eastern Bloc countries really being true members of the world community. Thank you very much.
Cieszę się bardzo, że w ogóle coś takiego może zaistnieć. Szkoda, że tylko raz na rok, ale bardzo fajnie, że tyle ludzi, którzy są związani z Polską, nie tylko Polaków, może tutaj przyjść i porozmawiać o Polsce, o przyszłości, o ewentualnych inwestycjach. Cieszy nas to, że Polska jest znowu tematem dnia i to było bardzo fajne, że mogliśmy o Polsce dzisiaj porozmawiać również.
Ja byłem zaproszony po raz pierwszy przed rokiem na bankiet Instytutu Piłsudskiego. Żałuję, niestety w zeszłym roku nie mogłem wziąć udziału w tym wydarzeniu, ale cieszę się ogromnie, że w tym roku czas mi na to pozwolił. Jestem pod dużym wyrażeniem przebiegu tej uroczystości, pod dużym wyrażeniem sprawności Instytutu Piłsudskiego, pod dużym wyrażeniem tradycji, jaka jest w tym instytucie, jaka się kryje za hasłem Instytutu Piłsudskiego. No i jestem pod wrażeniem również nagród, które zostały dzisiaj wręczone, przede wszystkim ich odbiorców. To są rzeczywiście wielkie postaci. Wszystkim miałem okazję przekazać gratulacje.
Dziękuję bardzo wszystkim, którzy przyszli i poparli nasz instytut. Dziękuję przyjaciołom.